Welcome to the Washington Council for High School College Relations Virtual College Planning Day. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as your facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. The first, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any point throughout our session today. Second, your camera and microphone are off, so we cannot see or hear you. Third, this is just one of many different sessions we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded and you'll have access to that recording within about a week or so. With that said, I want to go ahead and introduce our first presenter, Eastern Washington University.
Thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out today. We're almost to Friday, so we're nearly there. Appreciate you spending some time with us during this busy week for sure. A little bit about myself before I start the presentation. I'm Jennifer. You pronounce my last name Ness, like Elliot Ness or Luck Ness, and I'm an assistant director of recruitment for Eastern Washington University. I've worked here for about 7 years now. I also have my bachelor's degree from here, so I'm a proud alumna, and I definitely feel a connection with Eastern as well as to this area, and you'll probably figure out why by the end of the presentation. If you'd like, you can save this URL actually, and so you can come back and refer to this lookbook at any time you would like. It's ew.edu/lookbook. So just grab that, bookmark it. There's some good information here that I won't necessarily get through all today. So you can reference it anytime in the future. So just to give you a quick overview, if you don't know anything about Eastern, is we are located, I know it's a big surprise, but we're located on the eastern side of the state. And we're about an hour or so from the Idaho border in a small college town called Cheney. And if you don't know anything about Cheney, perfectly fine, not a lot of people do, but we're about 25 minutes or so outside of Spokane, about 4.5 hours from Seattle if you're driving, and about 2 hours from Tri-Cities, 3 hours from Yakima. And we're a medium-sized public institution. We have about 12,000 total students, and that does include master's level students. And if you're counting, we do have about 2,000 total squirrels. So something that sets Eastern apart that I like to touch on kind of in the beginning of any presentation that I give is that we really pride ourselves on our commitment to community and just making sure that you're successful as a student during your time here. So anyone that you might run across that works at Eastern is really invested in making sure that you're successful, both inside the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. It's something I hear, over and over from alumni and current students, as Eastern just feels kind of like a second home. And it's really a true sense of family and community. And it's because of that that they were able to succeed during their time here. In terms of programming, Eastern has more than 100 programs for you to choose from. And while all of our programs are great, I just wanted to highlight a couple of unique ones for you today. We do have a really kind of special forensic science program. This program is unique because it's connected with the Washington State Patrol Crime Lab. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically where all the evidence from any crime committed in Washington State Patrol jurisdiction, all the evidence for that crime will be sent to this lab to be analyzed. And it's literally right across the street from Eastern's campus. And so we're lucky because our students are able to, get hands-on experience, get their hands a little dirty, actually dealing with real forensics for real crimes. So really giving them that edge in the job market. And then also for our majors in the business school, that includes, stuff like supply chain management, data analytics, and many more. They are all AACSB accredited. And what that means is that our students are enrolled or who are enrolled in the business school, they're in one of the top 5% of business schools in the world. And as a result, they tend to receive, better salaries once they're working. They're being recruited by employers much earlier on. And then just in general, they perform, better inside and outside of the classroom than in schools who don't have this accreditation. So you can see our top 5 majors here. Business is one of them, but we're also pretty strong with our health sciences and STEM fields. But we have, like I mentioned before, a lot of different programs for you to choose from. Obviously, I talked about location a little bit earlier on, but we're really ideally located, rural and urban at the same time. So you get that college experience in an all-American college town that's just down the road from busy city life. So really the best of both worlds there. And that is something that I just love about this area, is that balance. So the same time that it might take you to get to, I don't know, your favorite place to swim, it would take you the same time to be at your favorite coffee shop. So really depending on your mood for that day, there's plenty of choices. And even if you don't have a car during your time here, there's still going to be a lot of options for you. So like, first of all, your student ID card, for example, is also a bus pass, and it's free for you as a student at Eastern. And so you can get from Cheney to Spokane, around Cheney, just about anywhere using the local bus system. Or if you want, something a little bit more adventurous, we have a unique program that plans outdoor excursions at a really low cost to students. So you can go, whitewater rafting or ice climbing. Seeing the favorite of everyone is dog sledding. You can go, with a group of students who are pretty much into the same things as you and who are just as adventurous. So just in general, this area is really safe. The Eastern and Cheney community is really welcoming, both on campus and off of campus. So it's really going to be easy to connect to and to meet people. And speaking of being on campus, whether you're into sports, we are a Division I school, as you can see here. We have 14 Division I sports, whether it's gaming you're into, sororities and fraternities, we definitely have plenty of ways for you to meet friends and meet people who are into the same things as you. And in addition to our almost 200 student clubs and organizations, last time I looked, we have an award-winning recreation center that has an ice rink and a climbing wall that's really popular. And we also have a brand new student union building, which you can see in these two images here. It's kind of the center of everything. We have, loads of student services to offer you. We've got, a Pride Center, Career Center, Multicultural Center, disability support services, and so on. So there is a lot going on a lot of the time. In addition to the Cheney campus, we also have a Spokane campus. And what you're looking at here is our brand new state-of-the-art Catalyst building. And that's located right in downtown Spokane in the University District. And the interesting thing about this building and what sets it apart, what makes it unique, is that it's actually got an energy footprint of 0. So it makes it one of the most sustainable buildings in the whole country. So we're really excited and proud to be part of this project. So this building is home to several of our programs, including some of those top 5 ones that you saw earlier, including, like business and computer science, amongst a few others. I wanted to also talk to you, of course, about cost, because I imagine that's pretty important as you're, trying to find which college you want to go to. So for you as Washington residents, Eastern is going to be the most affordable school of the Washington public universities specifically, with a total tuition rate of about $7,500, as you can see here. So in addition to any financial aid you might be receiving, we offer, of course, a number of scholarships. Some are automatic, some require a separate application. So just keep that in mind as you start to apply. And the priority deadline always for us for admission and for scholarships is February 1st. So just keep that in mind again as you start applying. So in terms of next steps, sort of like what can you do now? You can apply if you want. Our fall 21 application is still open, so you're welcome to apply for fall 21. If you're a junior, fall 22 application opens up on August 1st. And so just, again, keep this bookmarked in case you want to refer back to it when that application opens up. You can also explore different majors that we offer using this Explorer tool here on the bottom right. But the main thing that I would recommend that you do at this point is to take a tour if you can. We offer both virtual and in-person tours. We just reopened for in-person tours, which I'm pretty excited about. That really allows you to get a good feel as to whether or not Eastern is going to be a good fit for you. So hopefully it will be. And of course, if you have any questions at all about Eastern, please go ahead and drop those in the Q&A, and hopefully we'll see you here next fall. Thanks everybody, and go Eags.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Brittany Jackson. I am an Assistant Director of Admission at the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. I work with students in the city of Seattle, South King County, and Tacoma proper. And I am so excited to be with you and talk to you about the University of Puget Sound and what makes us unique. So, University of Puget Sound is a small national residential independent liberal arts campus with a total undergraduate student body of 2,400. We also offer three graduate programs, a School of Education and a School of Occupational Therapy and Physical Therapy, if folks have questions about that. But because we are all of these things in one, that actually puts us in a pretty unique category within Washington State, especially for small schools. So we are national, which means that just about 80% of our undergraduate student body comes from out of state. If we don't have all 50 states represented in our student body, we have about 47 of them at one time. So we are national. We are also independent, which means that essentially we are not a faith-based campus, which is also rare for being in Washington State and being a small school. So we are welcoming of all faiths and beliefs to campus, but it's not required of the academic curriculum, right? So we are national, we are independent. We are also residential, which is a really big deal for us. We require that students live on campus in the dorms for your first 2 years on campus. For us, it is so important that we create a small, intensive living and learning campus experience. We are very much trying to create an intellectual learning bubble so that you can cut out distractions and really focus on creating the kind of learning environment that works best for you. And living on campus and being residential is a huge part of that. You spend most of your time either on campus, actually the majority of your time is on campus just engaging in student life, and only about 15 hours or so is actually spent in the classroom. So being residential means that you will quite literally get your money's worth, which is important because we are a really expensive school, and I'll talk a bit more about that later. So we are national, independent, residential. The most important part of that title is that we are liberal arts. I don't know about you all, but when I was in high school and someone told me, and I heard the phrase liberal arts, I had no idea what it meant. And then when I tried to ask for clarification, someone gave me a response that was far more complex and left me more confused. So in a nutshell, the liberal arts, we care about what you think, but we care far more about how you think, how you came to your conclusions. What resources were you drawing from? What research did you do? How did you come to the conclusion that you came to, which is basically the critical thinking process, right? So yes, we care what you know, we care far more about how you know it. Particularly because for us, we believe the only way that someone can develop a strong critical thinking process is if they have access to as many academic areas of study as possible. So we don't like to pigeonhole students too quickly. We love general ed requirements. We are also a reading and writing intensive academic experience. So out the gate, regardless of majors, you're writing papers and you're learning from other classmates and you're having discussions. And regardless of your major, you have to take classes in the natural sciences, the social sciences, the humanities, but also ethnic studies, also the fine arts, right? All of these things come together, create this full breadth of academic understanding. And so all of that coming together to create that critical thinking process ultimately culminates in senior projects and research and really deciding for yourself, what do you want to study? That's when research and all these things actually become super fun and actually a really wonderful, passionate experience when you get to decide through your critical thinking process what you want to study and what you want to focus on. And so that's why also we do not push students to have a major by the time they enroll. We allow students to stay undecided up to 2 years while they're on campus. So you actually don't have to declare a major until the end of your sophomore year, which means that even if you come in and you think you know exactly what you want to do, and then you get in that class and you're like, ooh, I don't like this and I want to switch, it's not the end of the world. Even if you do like that major, but you want to add a little bit more to it, you totally can as well too. But all of that, or you want to stay undecided until the very last moment, we also leave room for that kind of possibility by requiring students to declare a major at the end of their sophomore year. Just some more quick facts about the academic experience. As I mentioned, most students will only spend about 15 hours a week sitting in a classroom. So much of your campus environment is engaging with other students around campus and student organizations. Our average class size is about 15 students with a student to faculty ratio of 11:1. Which basically means that probably the largest class you could experience in your freshman year is about 30 students. And then the smallest you can definitely experience in your time on campus is about 4 or 5 by the time you're a senior and you get into these seminar level courses and you're getting more focused in your areas of study. Those classes will start to shrink and you'll be getting these really intensive, right, learning bubbles that we talk so much about. And so, as I mentioned earlier, most students only spend about 15 hours a week sitting in a classroom, and the rest of that time is spent on campus engaging in lots of other things, particularly through this residential experience. When you are our first year on campus, we have this large event called Log Jam. Everyone comes to hear about the new campus clubs that are open, because getting involved in creating your own small specific community is something that I think Puget Sound students do really, really well. We have over 100 student-led organizations. We can't even at one time kind of accurately quote the number of student organizations because they come and go and they evolve and they change and they combine, and students are finding and creating community in so many new ways. But a lot of the common through lines, definitely athletics. Even as a small school, Puget Sound actually is a quite athletic small school. We are Division III, so we do not offer athletic scholarships, but we do offer just about 23 varsity sports and clubs on campus. Our coaches act as wonderful recruiting partners for us. So if you're out there in the community talking to one of our coaches right now, please tell them the Office of Admissions says hi. And also, even though we are Division III and that we do not offer athletic scholarships, we find that a lot of student athletes are still drawn to campus because they want to compete and they want to be with their team. So that's been something that a lot of our students really enjoy. Also activism, right? I started earlier by saying that our students love to create small groups and to find community in unique ways, and that definitely extends into activism on campus. We have actually a proud lineage of student organizing, student activism, and students pushing the administration to become a newer and more inventive institution, right? It's actually it's so fun to watch, because even though we try to create an intensive residential intellectual experience, we are not in a vacuum. We do not exist in a vacuum. So all of the things that are happening around us, our students are definitely bringing into the classrooms with them and getting involved around. So all of these things create kind of the whole experience that is the University of Puget Sound. And one of the first ways to get access to it is to apply to the institution. You can only find our application on the Common App. We are a member of the Common App. That's where you can find our first year and transfer application. And a couple things I like to highlight with the application process is that the University of Puget Sound is absolutely one of those schools that likes a nice, big, juicy personal statement college essay. If you have questions about that, please reach out to your assigned admission counselor. That would definitely be me. I love talking about and talking through these personal statements. They are so important to making your application come alive. So definitely, if you have questions about the rest of the application process, let me know. But also another important thing to note with our application process, we are a test optional institution, which means that you do not have to submit your test scores with your application to the university in order to get scholarships or even admitted, right? If you don't feel that your test scores are a reflection of your academic ability as a student, you do not have to submit them and we don't have to see them. And that's our promise. We've been test optional for about 6 years now, which has been so great for a number of reasons. It allows us to be far more accessible, particularly as an expensive small private school, right? So if you have more questions about the application process, definitely let me know. I also want to make sure that we touch on financial aid and talk about financial aid and how to afford a small private school like ours, because I do not want to sugarcoat this. We easily have the second most expensive sticker price in the state of Washington, right? So we are a small school, we are expensive. We also want to make sure that remaining financially accessible for as many students as possible is at the forefront of our work. So if you are a student and you get admitted to the University of Puget Sound, you get a merit scholarship. So it's never a matter of if you get scholarship money, particularly as a private school, it's more a matter of how much scholarship money. And our scholarships start at $15,000 and they cap at $26,000, and students can even earn more money from different tiers within that whole structure. And so that's just from your application that you submit to us. There are also lots of other specific scholarships that you can apply for. We have an arts scholarship, a music scholarship, forensics, because we do have a fantastic debate team. So there are lots of other ways that you can earn scholarships in the admission process. And most of our students will see a financial aid package that covers, if not 2/3, then possibly 3/4 of the cost of attendance for Puget Sound. So if you have more questions about the financial affordability of the institution, definitely let us know and send us more questions. But yes, my name is Brittany Jackson. Thank you so much again for your time, and thank you for considering the University of Puget Sound.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here this morning. I'll go ahead and get my screen sharing set up. All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Marcy Alstrom. I'm the Recruitment and Admissions Manager at Grace Harbor College. Grace Harbor College is one of 34 community and technical colleges in Washington State. We're primarily located in Aberdeen, Washington, which is at about an hour southwest of Olympia. We also have 2 other sister locations, one in Raymond and one in Owaco. So we serve mostly Grays Harbor and Pacific counties. One of the top functions of the community and technical college system in Washington State is to serve local communities that our campuses are in. So while we're located in Grays Harbor and Pacific County, those are mostly the students that we serve. But of course, there are a few of our programs that are not available at any other school or are highly competitive, highly sought after, that students come from all over the state to GHC to participate in. We're really proud to have been serving Grays Harbor and Pacific counties for 90 years now. We just celebrated our 90th anniversary. We were founded in 1930. And our Aberdeen campus is located on about 40 acres of beautiful forest of the Pacific Northwest. You can see here an image of our man speaker instructional building from the lower parking lot in the Aberdeen campus. A nice giant staircase up to upper campus. We're on a bit of a hill in South Aberdeen. So lots of opportunity to walk around, explore. Don't worry though, we have parking on upper campus as well, so you don't have to take the stairs every day. So a little bit about Grays Harbor College, who we are. As I mentioned, as one of Washington's community and technical colleges, we really are here to serve the communities that we're in. So we offer a variety of programs, no matter where you're at in your education journey. GHC has a program for you. We offer high school completion programs, short-term certificates, associate degrees that are either transfer degrees for you to go on to a university or workforce degrees for you to go right into a career afterwards. We also offer a few Bachelor of Applied Science degrees. Those are in Forest Resource Management, teacher education, and organizational management. At GHC, we are one of the smallest schools in all of Washington State with a unique student count of about 3,200 students. In addition, our student to faculty ratio here is about 18-1, which means that we have really small class sizes. There's lots of great opportunity for you to engage with your faculty inside and outside of the classroom for some great mentorship opportunities and opportunities to really get exposed to learning beyond the classroom as well. So let's watch this short video about Washington's community and technical college system.
Building a stronger Washington will take all of us. Community and technical colleges were built for times like these. We know our communities, and we're responding. Our doors are wide open to diverse students of all ages, races, and backgrounds to train for a job, get a degree, or start a new career. To create a strong and inclusive economy, it's the right thing to do. For students, for employers, for Washington, Washington's community and technical colleges.
Awesome. Oops, a little too far there. So why might you consider either starting or finishing your education at Grays Harbor College? First and foremost, at GHC, we offer a really high quality education. And all of the different programs that we offer, again, whether you're starting with a high school completion or a certificate, all the way up to our Bachelor of Applied Science degrees, students are going to get a really close relationship with their faculty and a really high quality learning experience both inside and outside of the classroom. Those small class sizes, again, are really valuable at an affordable cost as well. I'm sure, as many of you know, community and technical colleges offer a really affordable way for students to start their education, even finish their education. Our tuition and fees for the 2020-2021 year, full-time lower division student going for their AA is paying right under $5,000 a year. So a great, really affordable way to start your education. And of course, we're conveniently located in Grays Harbor and Pacific Counties, in Aberdeen, Raymond, and Owaco, and online. Few of the different kinds of programs that we offer. I mentioned the kinds of degrees or academic pathways, but you might have a number of different areas of interest. So one great way for students to kind of explore the connection between your interests and the academic programs we offer is to look at our areas of study. Here you can see we have different areas based on arts and humanities, education, business, career and technical education. Some of our more hands-on programs include automotive, carpentry, CDL, diesel technology, and welding. And of course, our nursing program and medical assisting are really hands-on as well. Our allied health professions are really sought after degrees. Our nursing program in particular is highly competitive, and students come from all over Washington State to apply to that program. One cool thing about our nursing degree is it's what we call a 3+1 degree. That means it takes about 3 years to complete your associate in nursing. Once you finish that program, though, you're a registered nurse. You got your RN. And the +1 means that if you'd like to go on and earn your Bachelor of Nursing at one of Washington's universities, it will just take 1 year to complete your Bachelor of Nursing, which is pretty cool. Of course, we also have our STEM pathways and really competitive and sought after program as well is the Bachelor of Applied Science in Forest Resource Management. In Western Washington, natural resource management, the timber industry and logging is a really, really big part of our regional economy. And so all of our Bachelor of Applied Science students in that Forest Resource Management program, they're getting job offers before they even graduate from the program, either with the Department of Natural Resources, local tribes, and state agencies that do land management and natural resources as well. So lots of really cool programs that meet our local economic needs. At GHC, we really have a culture of belonging and student engagement. We have lots of student support services that are set up for you to be successful, like I mentioned, inside and outside of the classroom. So programs like, the Student Support Center, Disability Support Services, counseling, the Diversity and Equity Center, financial aid, associated students, and all of our clubs and activities are a great way for students to get involved on campus and really develop that campus community. Some of our academic supports we offer are the Writing Center, Learning Center, the Reference Desk, and of course our TRIO student support programs. We have a number of really amazing athletic programs as well for men and women teams. We have basketball, baseball, softball, wrestling and golf. Those are both men and women's teams. And then some additional women's teams we have are women's soccer and cross country. This is a great photo of our Shermer Instructional Building where a lot of our natural resources, biology, science, math courses are held. Also, this building is home to our nursing program and our art department as well. You can see some of GHC's beautiful campus. Our carpentry program is located in the Krug Industrial Tech Building. As one of our CTE programs, carpentry is really, really competitive. As you can see, students get amazing hands-on experience. This here is a great shot of our Man Speaker Instructional Building. Kind of if you were to walk up those stairs that you saw in our first photo, you'd end up right here with a beautiful picture of and really view of the rest of campus. Also home to our music pavilion, which is next door. Here's an inside view of that music pavilion. Our Bishop Center for Performing Arts is another great way for students to get involved on campus. Here's a couple really fun photos of more of our CTE programs. So if you're interested in learning more about Grace Harbor College or registering for one of our programs, we welcome you. What are the steps to get started? Of course, apply to GHC. Make sure you complete those financial aid applications, the FAFSA or the WASFA. Our financial aid priority deadline for the 2021-2022 year is May 1st. So next week, make sure you get your financial aid applications completed by then. And then entry registration opens up for the next year for new students on May 27th. So give us a call, contact us, reach out to us on social media to set up those appointments. And we look forward to seeing you in the fall. Thanks so much.
Thank you. With that said, that concludes our presentation portion of our session today, but we're now going to transition to the Q&A. As a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to use that Q&A feature. I'm going to go ahead and pose a question to the group. So to our panelists, feel free to return and turn on your camera. The question here is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? Feel free to respond in the order in which you presented.
Okay, so real quickly, what I would recommend actually is to figure out what's most important to you in terms of features at a school. So for example, value, opportunity, maybe community is most important to you, academics, maybe location is important to you. So figure out just what is the most important thing for you when you're looking for a college. And then we have this tool where we actually encourage students to actually rank the schools that they're considering from 1 to 5 in each of those areas. So the first step would be to choose what's most important to you, then rank each of the schools that you're considering in each of those areas. And using that tool can kind of help you narrow down your list a little bit so that you're really focusing on those top schools for you.
I would definitely encourage students to think about themselves and what you really want. There are lots and lots and lots of different, which I think is definitely bouncing off of what Jennifer said, but trying to think more about what drives you as well too, because even if the school has everything that you're looking for and there are just some pieces in your own life or your experience that are not coming together to kind of push things through, like that, making sure that everyone's on the same page, right? All of these kind of conversations about you as a person entering this new space, those conversations should be had. As to put a bit of a finer point on it, I think that sometimes we talk a lot about freshman year being this really exciting time, and really it's because you're learning new things in a new way around new people. That's exciting, and then also takes a lot of adjustment. And so being understanding of yourself and diving a little bit deeper as to what motivates you to get through all of those things that are changing at once. So definitely doing that internal work, and talking to those around you and saying, hey, like, let's do this. I'm going to do something big. Let's get ready to support me.
Great. Yeah, echoing what my colleagues have said here, really doing some introspection about what is important to you, doing some comparison to see which of the schools you're considering, has opportunities in the areas that are most important to you. And one additional thing I'd suggest is if you have the opportunity, try and talk to some current students at that institution. So maybe the colleges you're considering have, a student ambassador program where you can talk to current students. I know a lot of colleges are doing virtual visits right now or hosting online events with current students that are participating. So as much chance as you have to reach out to colleges and talk to other students who are already enrolled at that college is a really great way to get a feeling for the campus environment.
Great advice from the group. With that said, that concludes our virtual college fair for today. I want to thank our panelists for joining us, but I also want to thank all of our attendees. As we exit, I have a few closing announcements. So as you exit from this Zoom session, a survey will appear. It's approximately 4 questions, but please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings in the future. I also want to remind you that you can sign up for additional sessions by visiting our registration site. And finally, a recording will be available within a week or so. Again, thank you for joining us. I hope everyone has a great day.